Do you know any Labour MPs who privately are encouraging you and want you to win?
Who doesn't? You'd be amazed at the number. Jeremy, good luck.
Really?
Yes.
What were they saying?
Good luck. Make sure you win.
We've come to a leafy part of London to look at one of the most fascinating contests in this general election campaign. Here, North Islington, Jeremy Corbyn has been the MP for 40 years.
Oh, Jeremy Corbyn!
But back in 2020, he was suspended from the Labour Party because of his reaction to a report on the party's anti-Semitism. Now, he's outside the party, standing as an independent, so fighting Labour to keep his seat.
Spread the word, spread the hope, spread the optimism, and tomorrow will be a better day than yesterday. Thank you.
It sets up this fascinating question: how much does constituency loyalty matter versus party brand?
I'm one of the people who's very torn between Jeremy Corbyn and Labour.
Feeling quite conflicted.
Will residents here back Jeremy, the man they've been voting for again and again, or will they feel the need to support Labour given they're on the brink of taking office? We came to this peace garden where Jeremy Corbyn and a host of left-wing figures were addressing canvassers who were hitting the doorstep. It gave us a chance to see what people in the area were thinking about the Corbyn campaign.
I'm leaning towards Jeremy, but we'll see on the day.
Keir Starmer, your successor, talks about a changed Labour Party. What's your view on this changed Labour Party?
Well, the changed Labour Party seems to involve suspending a lot of people from membership, expelling quite a few from membership, and an economic strategy which I think is inadequate to meet the needs of the times in our country.
Keir Starmer, when he ran for the leadership, implied he was like you in a number of policy areas: renationalisation, abolishing tuition fees. He's moved rapidly away from that in the leadership. Do you think he's betrayed the left?
Well, apparently I was his best friend. I was surprised, but there you go. I'm surprised by many things in life. And he put forward 10 points, all of which were drawn from the manifestos on which he had been elected to Parliament in 17 and 19. Let's move on a bit from that and just recognise what the needs of the times are in our society. I have obviously opposed the Tories all my life. I look forward to the Tories being defeated. I look forward to a new government in Britain, but I want that government to deliver for the people. And if I'm in Parliament, I'll be making sure that there's at least one voice there demanding that they do.
He helped my mum when she came from another country get a job and stuff, and you'll hear thousands of those stories around here about Corbyn.
Yeah. And that's what you'd want to do as an MP, to try and push Starmer to the left. And you would have seen Starmer repeatedly refusing to say something he said about you a while ago, which was he thought you'd make a great Prime Minister. What did you make of that?
Well, I thought it was a bit odd, really. He and I campaigned together in 2019. I know what the result of the election was. I know what I wanted to do in government. I know what I wanted to achieve in government. And he was well aware of that, as was all other members of the Shadow Cabinet. And they all endorsed the manifesto of 2019. So, guys, let's own up to our past, as well as looking for a decent future for all.
Bumped into my neighbour the other day and I said, "Are you voting for Jeremy?" And she said, "Of course I'm voting for Jeremy." And she gave me a whole litany of really very, very difficult things that have happened to her family that Jeremy helped with right from the outset.
And you'll be aware there is controversy about your candidacy among some. There were some protests here. Do you ever feel any regret about the comments that led to your suspension from Labour?
Racism is an evil in our society. We're here in the Philip Noel Baker Peace Garden. This is a garden of peace, and if people wish to protest, it's absolutely fine by me. They're welcome to make their views known. Anti-Semitism is a vile thing and has to be defeated, just as much as Islamophobia does as far-right racism. I made the points I made because I believe that some of the issues that I said had not been properly addressed.
Should we vote Labour? But actually we don't necessarily agree with some of the policies that the local Labour candidate, who's just appeared out of nowhere, he comes from a background of private healthcare. We should be supporting the NHS and not offering private healthcare.
The fact that he's got a consistent history here, Jeremy that is, the fact that the Labour candidate seems to be an outsider and comes from wealth, those things I think matter for people.
Very torn.
Yeah.
Because he's been our MP for such a long time and he's really served the local community really well. I'm a Corbynite, but I want the Tories gone. When I'm at the box, I'm going to see if anything speaks to me, basically.
I think it's going to go down right to the wire for us about making our choice.
A couple of things really jumped out to me from that chat with Corbyn. First, that comment where he said dozens of Labour MPs are privately supporting him, not the official Labour Party candidate, to win here. I think that gives you a sense about how actually there is a big chunk in the party that is supportive of Corbyn, or at least his left-wing policy vision. Secondly, there was that moment where he pretty clearly implied he wants to hold Keir Starmer's feet to the fire on his previous left-wing positions. So if Corbyn did get into power as an MP, he would challenge Keir Starmer to scrap the two-child benefit cap, for example, challenge Keir Starmer to stick with his original nationalisation plans. But then chatting to some of his campaign team here, it's also clear they have a big challenge. They need to somehow communicate to voters here that unlike all the previous elections, if you want Jeremy Corbyn, you've got to vote independent and not vote Labour. That is the central message canvassers here are being told to communicate on the doorstep. The fear is clear. I think they think some people who aren't paying attention will go into the ballot box, tick Labour, and think that amounts to backing Jeremy Corbyn. But when you step back, I think there's something much more fascinating going on rather than when Jeremy Corbyn wins or loses here. It's about the Labour Party and a big split within it, between the left and the hard left. There is energy, there is frustration with people here about the current leadership being too moderate, being too centrist. That exists before the election, and if Keir Starmer does enter Downing Street, it's going to be a big issue afterwards too.